Hi, Steve Nutter here with Best Thrower Books, and in a moment I'm going to be joined by author Bill Schweigart to talk about his new book, Dirty 20, that comes out on May 12th. This book is something that I call dark and brutal, enchanting and immersive. It's a real unique blend of crime fiction and fantasy role-playing games that you wouldn't quite expect to see in the genre, but it really hits hard. It's also kind of a coming-of-age story. It's got great characters, dark storylines, shocking twists. Bill really knocks this one out of the park. And he'll join us to talk about the book and a couple other topics. So I hope you enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome to a exclusive one-on-one Best Thriller Books interview with a thriller author that you all know and love. I'd like to say, of all the thriller authors I know, Bill is definitely one of them. So, welcome Bill Schweigert to the, I guess, BTB Power. I don't know what to
I
call
love
it.
it.
So,
I appreciate it. And here I was until your dig. I was about to compliment you and thank you profusely for being the first site and you being the first person to ever write anything um, about Dirty 20. So I definitely appreciate it.
awesome. I appreciate that. I had no idea I was the first one.
You were,
But
it was like December or January, and of course I was Googling myself, because I'm needy and vain, and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. So that review that covered me for a few months. I really appreciate it.
well, I appreciate the early look at the book. I think I've read everything you've published,
Oh,
including your serial novel.
I oh, I apologize.
So a lot of wasted hours in my house going through that stuff. But
No, thank
I
you.
kid, I kid. All right, we got some questions for you. Very hard-hitting stuff. Inquiring minds want to know. So we're gonna dive right in. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So my first question is, how the hell did you come up with the idea to a write a book that combines sort of The Sopranos and Dungeons and Dragons?
So full disclosure. I wish I could say that I did, but I had a lot of help from my editor, Adam, at Hyperion Avenue. And this is kind of a fun story. Years ago, we had sort of a virtual cup of coffee because I had let my agent know anytime anything Marvel comes up, please let me know because my lane of fandom is like Marvel comics and in particular like those street level heroes.
Hmm.
And Disney at the time, years ago, was getting ready to launch their Disney or their Marvel crime line. So had this cup of coffee and Adam and I had this really wonderfully nerdy conversation. And ultimately I didn't get that gig. Um, and my agent came back and said, "Hey, they're looking for really big name for those titles." And I was like, "Well, Schweigert's a big name. There's like
Yeah, a lot
four
of letters.
consonants before you even get to a vowel. What's the problem?"
Totally.
But then those titles were announced, and it was authors like Alex Segura for Daredevil, Lisa
Hmm.
Jewell for Jessica Jones, and S.A. Cosby for Luke Cage. And I'm like,
Yeah,
chef's kiss. How can I argue with that?
you
But
can't.
but Adam and I had a great connection, and he knew that I am a nerd. But what he didn't know when he sort of approached me with this high concept was that I'm also a giant nerd for mafia stories. I grew up in South Jersey on the other side of the bridge from Philadelphia. Sort of the mafia was like on the action news every night.
Hmm.
So I just love gangster stories and I've always wanted to write a gangster tale. So this was like chocolate, peanut butter, all the good stuff that you could put in it. So yeah, it was off to the races. So I really have to tip my hat to Adam, who is also a giant nerd.
Shout out to nerds. Shout out to great editors. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. I worked in northern New Jersey for a few years. I know the type of characters you're talking about.
See,
Yeah.
exactly. And what I love about the book is, and the approach that we took is that, like, when I grew up, The Godfather had influenced everything. But then in 99, The Sopranos came around. So now The Sopranos have influenced everything. And The Sopranos was very aware, like, that they referenced the Godfather films in The Sopranos. Like, they came from a world where that stuff existed.
Right.
So this book kind of has that, is even more hyper aware, and has all the requisite pop culture references and stuff. So I didn't steer away from that. I kind of steered into the skid just because it was more fun.
Yeah, oh, I get it. That's awesome. So with that, right, you've written a lot of different stuff with a lot of different focus, right? You've got these folklore thrillers, this dark police procedural. Now you've got this gangster fantasy. I don't know if that's the way you want to describe it, but sort of, it's not just a crime novel. There's a lot more to it. Whereas many authors usually just stick to one lane. So what drives the variety of ideas that you come up with? And do you find your versatility makes you superior to other authors in the genre?
Oof. Well, I reject the premise of the question. I'm not superior to other authors. Nice try. You're not going to get me on that.
I
That's a
thought I
trick
had you.
question.
Yeah.
But I just haven't figured out what I want to be when I grow up yet. I think that's part of it. And for a long time, writing wasn't the day job. It wasn't the full-time job. So I sort of had the luxury to write what I wanted. And this certainly falls into the category of write what I want. I don't know if I've written a book that has more of the stuff that I'm interested in than Dirty 20. But yeah, like I just came from a very lucky place in that I could just sort of pursue whatever was interesting me at the time. Would I have loved to write a series? Absolutely. Would I love for there to be a Dirty 21 or
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it? Absolutely. Write your congressman. Absolutely.
Yeah, an act of Congress might get us a book. That's pretty awesome.
you know,
It might
rent
take
out
20
one of those
years.
airplanes that cut banners at the Jersey Shore that tow those behind it. Whatever you need to do.
Get the word out. That's right.
Mail 20-sided dice to your representative.
Ooh, I like that. I like the sound of that. So, love that you get to write what you want. I mean, that's awesome. That sounds like a really cool gig to have, is to kind of do what you want. Again, this is a little bit different. So you went from like a really dark crime novel with the guilty one to there's still some darkness in Dirty 20. There's plenty of it, but there's also this whimsical fantasy, role-playing game in it. So what's it like transitioning from sort of really dirty, gritty crime to something that's got a little bit of that, but also a little bit more of, a light, witty, whimsical feel to it.
So I don't want to cop out and say that it was easy, because it wasn't easy. But like in a lot of my other projects, editors have like cut the jokes. I have a very bad habit of putting in a lot of jokes when they don't belong, and it deflates the tension exactly when I don't want it to deflate attention. So I've had great editors in the past who have made me wisely cut some jokes. This was the first time where I actually got to, put the humor sort of front and center. You're right, there's stakes. It's definitely dangerous. There's blood. Bad things happen. It is a crime novel,
Yes.
but it is also absurd in the way that, like, The Sopranos was allowed to be absurd, but when horrible things happened, they didn't pull any punches. So I did kind of want to honor that, but just the premise of this kid Tommy, my hero, who has to launder $20,000 of his father's money and creates this role playing game, and then boom, the game goes viral, and all of a sudden he's on the hook, but his father won't let him take it out of the family, so he has to develop the game with his father's associates, an enforcer, a stoner accountant, a soldier, a pimp, and all of these people have never played any role playing games before. So, they're just inherently it's just funny to me. So the jokes are not like waka waka, but they come from the absurdity of the situation, which was just so much fun to write.
That's awesome. You had me at pimp. I mean, just saying. But so based on that, right, I mean, you create a story with these characters, right? Pimps and enforcers and stoner accountant. Shout out to finance folks, as I am one of them. And anyone who follows you online too understands you like to have a little bit of fun. And frankly, anyone who's read your books might think you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Is that true?
Um, I would say that the majority of the voices in my head would agree with that statement. That's fair.
All right.
That's fair. Yeah, and again, I just haven't figured out what I want to be when I grow up yet. So I suppose I should start trying to put some brain power to that, but not today.
Nah, today's not the day for that.
Not
Who wants to
today.
grow up?
I'm not growing up today.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Do you
Exactly.
understand that reference? You're my people. All right. I don't know the age demographic of the people watching this. They may or may not understand that, right?
I am that demographic.
Awesome. I love it. All right. Let's get into some rapid fire questions here. So if your fellow authors were to write your biography, what would they call it? What would the title be?
Oof. Um, that is a good question. But I literally was uh, texting with my agent today, and it has been, I think, 13 years since she picked me out of the slush pile. Um, so we were joking that my autobiography, my memoir, would be called Slush, the Bill
Lush.
Schweigart story, which also kind of can describe my physique from here down at times. So
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a bestseller to me. So
exactly.
yeah, definitely creates an
Everything you
image.
didn't want to know about Bill Schweigart.
Yeah, now there's this image in my head I cannot get out. So thank you for that. I
You
really
asked the
appreciate it.
question.
I did, and I immediately regret my decision to ask that question. So thank you so much. All right, next one. What completely useless skill do you have that you're weirdly proud of?
Ooh, useless skill. It's not so much a skill as a lifestyle. And every
Okay.
time I say this, somewhere in the house, my wife cringes, but I was Gateway Regional High School's 1991 most organized senior.
Wow.
And you know what? There were a lot of organized kids at that school, but I beat them all. So it literally, every time I say that, my wife is like, why do you tell people that?
I mean,
Um,
that's a feather in your cap. Why wouldn't you tell people about that?
exactly.
That would be the first
Exactly.
line of my resume if I had that.
Not class clown, not most likely to succeed, not even one half of cutest couple. I got most organized. But who's
Wow.
laughing now, Steve?
Everyone watching this is laughing right now.
They're laughing with me.
Yes,
That's what
of
I tell
course.
myself.
I didn't mean to infer something
That's
else.
what my mother says. They're laughing with me.
Awesome. All right. What fellow thrower author could you take in a fight
Um,
with that slush body of yours?
Everyone that I think of, um, like that's the problem. Is all these thriller guys. Your Don Bentleys, who I'm dear friends with, and your Jack Cars. They all have like serious bona fides in and I was a Coast Guard officer prone to seasickness. So I don't think I could take any one thriller author, but I think I could take two.
Oh,
That way I could just talk smack and get them to fight each other and just create havoc and discontent and whisper, hey, this one, did you hear what this one said? He said your books weren't any good. And then they would fight each other. And then I would sneak attack. So no one single author, but two, I'll take them. I'll take them all day.
that's a great way to dodge the question and not get in trouble with any throw authors.
Do you
Props for
would
that
you want
respect.
me to get in trouble with Jack Carr? I thought we
No,
were
no,
friends.
no. I would like you to continue writing books I enjoy. So
Exactly.
that's probably a wise decision. So I'll let you off on that one. All right. So let's say you're going to your own book signing. What would your entrance music be?
Wicked Game by Chris Isaac,
Ooh,
because I want to set a sensual tone right at the top and make everybody deeply uncomfortable.
you're not going for hype. You're not going for exciting the crowd. You're going
Um,
for awkward silence.
Absolutely awkward cringe. It can only go up from there. That's my move.
It's a hell of a song. Like,
It's a great song.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'll skip that book signing though. So thanks for the heads up. All right, next one. What minor inconvenience turns you into a dramatic movie villain?
Oh, I mean, I've had this could be the week that it happens. Um, I went shopping, to clothe this for the upcoming book tour,
Okay.
and I tried on a medium and a large shirt, and I grabbed the large, so I thought, and brought home the medium, and I got it home, and I looked at it, and I tried it on for my wife, not realizing that it was the medium, and she was like, "Are you sure about that one?" And then I took it off and realized I had grabbed the medium by mistake. So then I had to go back. Not only did I have to try that on in front of my wife and look like I was stuffed into a sausage casing, I then had to make another trip back to the mall to return it. So
The worst.
that was that's my Joker falling into the vat of acid story right there.
That mall has no idea how close it came to being burned to the ground.
It could have been a bad scene.
Yeah.
Luckily, they made the exchange. I saved a lot of face. It was a very quick transaction, in and out. Thank goodness for the world.
Thank goodness indeed. Um, but I totally get that. Like one of the least favorite things I have to do is go to the mall, and if I have to go back a second time because I messed up, look out.
And my wife was like, "Do you want me to go with you?" I was like, I'm not a grown man. I got this. Come on." And then I'm immediately taking pictures of things like, "What about this one or this one?" And then I bring home the wrong size shirt. So
So narrator voice, he did not have this.
I did. He did not have this. Indeed. Exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of your wife, if she compared you to a fictional character, what character would she pick?
I would say Peter Parker, but long before he was bitten by the spider. So just a nerd from the Northeast with no special ability. Just an organized nerd
Just an organized
with
nerd.
no special abilities.
And if you did get bitten by the spider, would she be okay with that?
Yes, then I can you imagine how organized I would be at that point?
Shooting out webs to move books from one shelf to another.
Exactly. This
Like,
place would be spotless.
fantastic. All right. Well, I'll get you out here with one last question. So book Dirty 20, right? Comes out in a couple weeks. What's your pitch to readers and people watching this on why they should pick up the book?
I think it's a great dark humor crime tale. It definitely has um, everything that you want from a crime story, a mafia story, and it has a dash of fantasy. And like all of my books, I try and put um, a heaping helping of heart and humor into it. So I think if you pick this up, you are going to have a good time. There's going to be something in there for you.
I can attest to that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for writing it. Thank you for giving us a chance to read it early. And for everyone out there, please go pre-order Dirty 20. It's a fantastic book. And Bill needs to buy clothes that fit so he could use the money.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It's not easy being me. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, Steve. Again, thank you for being the first. It was such a lovely surprise to see that you'd gotten a hold of it so early. Um, that I dined off of that for a month. I was delighted. So thank you, and thank the whole crew at BTB.
Thank you. I appreciate it. See, Mom, I did turn into something worthwhile. All right. Bill, thanks again for joining us for this. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having some fun with us. Once again, everyone, Dirty 20 comes out May
12th.
12th. May 12th. Get your pre-orders in now. And if you don't pre-order it, just pick it up on the day it comes out, your favorite bookseller. Again, my name is Steve Netter, and Bill Schweigart's been here for a exclusive BTB one-on-one interview. So thanks for watching and take care.
Thanks, everybody.